Right, guys, a very quick one here, but I see this idiocy in the mail and had to talk about it with you guys. Over the past 9 months, we have all witnessed the NHS failing its job to look after everyone in this country. As you know, leaving many thousands to suffer and die while being applauded at 8 p.m. on a Thursday night by a bunch of demented clapping seals, no less, that actually stood outside their houses like the virtue signalling tosspots they all clearly are, doing as Supreme Leader Boris told them to do, like good little sheeple. Clap for the NHS, but if you need medical treatment, you have to suffer at home was obviously the order of things. Then, of course, we had another utter embarrassment to this country when NHS doctors and nurses decided it was a good idea to dance around hospital wards like a bunch of tosspots. All while the people who pay their wages are refused treatment, refused the right to see their dying loved ones, and oh yeah, let's not forget the NHS sticking do not resuscitate orders on people without their consent. Well, given all they have done, we actually have a Conservative MP called
Jeremy Cunt. I'm so sorry, Jeremy Hunt. I've never said that before in my life. It's usually men who say that.
who is now trying to push the idea of an over 40s NHS and social care tax because you all love the NHS so much, as this year has shown these politicians. Now, Jeremy Cunt here is the chairman of the Health and Social Care Committee, so proposes shit to the government that they might actually take up. And actually, given some of the shit that he has come out with since the start of this year, that should be really worrying to everyone. But I do love how stupid these politicians are, thinking that people will be happy with some new tax being placed on them. It's not exactly the same as the poll tax, but that worked out great, didn't it? So I can see this being a good idea also, because you may think, oh, it's only a little bit of money once you reach 40, but every year they want it to continue going up, so as you get older, you're paying more and more. And like I said, they really think this is a good idea. Now, I won't read through the whole Mail article, we will just focus on the crap relating to Jeremy Cunt, because obviously he's in a position where he might be able to push this bullshit forward. It headlines, a new tax on over 40s, a merger with the NHS, separate plans to shake up social care pushed by two ex-health secretaries. The other one is obviously Labour's Andy Burnham, and we might actually deal with his bullshit in a separate video, but like I said, he's the Mayor of Manchester, he has no say in fuck all. It says here, the government is being urged to launch a long-term plan to fund social care and to integrate the system more closely with the NHS. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has a now or never opportunity to use public support shown during the pandemic to set out why a new tax may be necessary, according to former Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt, or Jeremy Cunt as we all know him. But I do have to say, I don't know what public support he's talking about. The public support for the NHS is no more than it was before, because at the end of the day, 90% of people know the NHS is just doing its job at the moment. You don't get any extra praise for doing what you're paid to do, or at least you shouldn't. It goes on, he floats the idea of following the lead of Japan and Germany in introducing a small surcharge for over 40s, which rises as you grow older. So it'll be a small surcharge at 40, but by 50 or 60, it's probably a massive burden on your life. And let's be honest, like we are not taxed enough in this day and age. It goes on further down though. Hunt, now chairman of the Health and Social Care Committee of MPs, suggests addressing the issue, as Johnson promised when he entered Downing Street could provide the Prime Minister with a legacy similar to the establishment of the NHS by a Labour government after the Second World War. He says, I think the biggest battle now is with the Treasury because the sums of money are eye-watering. But he adds, we were even more bankrupt as a country after the Second World War, and then we had the imagination and vision to set up the NHS, and I think this is another 1948 moment. MPs on his committee recently proposed a £46,000 cap on every individual's social care bill and an immediate £7 billion cash injection to address a funding crisis. Because obviously there's always a funding crisis with the NHS or of course social care. I wonder where all the money goes that gets spent on it. Actually, we know it goes to diversity and inclusion managers and bullshit like that. It says they endorsed an upper limit on what people should pay towards care to protect them against catastrophic costs at the same level suggested in the influential government-backed Deal Not report in 2011. Mr. Hunt says a tax on the middle-aged might be required along the lines of the systems used in Germany or Japan. Both of them, interestingly, introduced a tax surcharge to people over 40, which is only a small amount extra, but as you get older, you start to pay a little bit more, and neither have had public pushback for doing that, he says. Well, I think you will get get pushback here in the UK, especially when you factor in the fact that the government has taken away most of the people's jobs. Yes, we have a lot on furlough, but at the end of the day, if you're currently furloughed, you are unemployed. The chances of your business coming back are very slim at the moment, especially if Boris Johnson gets his way and keeps us perpetually locked down. An alternative is the model in countries like Italy or Spain, where families look after their elderly relatives, something which often results in women staying at home rather than pursuing a career. I suspect that's a price we would not want to pay in this country, says Mr. Hunt. No, I suspect that is a price you don't want to pay because you'll be called a sexist pig if you let it happen. But I can see more people saying they don't want to pay you snivelling shitweasels more tax money, that is for sure. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if you're happy to pay the government and NHS more of your money each year. I certainly fucking won't be. To me, this just seems like a stealth tax to cover their extravagant spending. It's not the first time they've tried to cover their arse, let's be honest. But I really can't see how anyone's going to be very happy with this. Like I said, yous lot need to let me know what you think down in the comments. Some of their plans might well be okay, but when you're trying to whack a stealth tax on people that will raise each year as they get older, I have a question to ask about that. How the fuck do you think you're going to get away with this, and what world are you living in that people will be happy with paying more tax? Wasn't the Conservative Party always about small government, low tax and all this bollocks? Or at least they claim to be, I'm sure. I mean, hopefully Boris Johnson ignores this snivelling shitweasel Jeremy Cunt, because that is what should happen. Look at all he has done in the past few months and years while he has been a politician, the snivelling shitweasel.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.